What is a satire? Satire is a piece of literature in which vices, follies, shortcomings of individuals and society are held up to ridicule. Ideally, it is written with an intent of shaming individuals and society, and its purpose is constructive social criticism, and it wants to reform the society and the individuals, and it makes the subject ridiculous by evoking towards it attitudes of amusement, contempt, indignation, scorn. It is different from comedy, as comedy is all laughter. Its intention is not sarcasm. Sarcasm could be there here and there, but the main objective of comedy is laughter and humor. Whereas satire's main intention is not humor. Its main intention is scorn. Its main intention is to reform. Its intention is to do away the vices of the society and the individuals. So since the intention is different, that is why the aspect of humor or the aspect of laughter or the aspect of comedy is lesser or less in satires, whereas it is more in comedy. Now when we see that there is an object which is the butt of satire. That butt may be an individual, that could be a personal satire, or it could be a type of persons, a category of persons, a class, an institution, or entire nation, or any manner, or any tradition, or any type of action, activity which is being conducted. So there could be different types of satires. Now when we talk of satires, we would find that they employ different tools, and their tools could be comparison, their tools could be parody, their tools could be exaggeration, their tools could be irony, sarcasm, juxtaposition. Then there could be allusions, there could be parallels through which satire has been brought up. So so there are variety of tools, varieties of mechanisms which are adopted to write a satire. Now when we read satire in English literature, we would see that satires are basically of two types. One is Horatian satire and the other is juvenile satire. Now Horatian satire is, as the name suggests, has been adopted from Horace, and it is a mild satire. It is playful, it is smiles all the way, and there is a laughter, and there is light-hearted laughter. There are some philosophical beliefs of ancient Greeks or from Rome, and the writer wants those beliefs to be continued, and he writes a satire in a very light way, and he wants to heal the situation, and he wants things which had been carried by the ancients to be carried till this date. Now when we talk of this satire, we can talk of Utopia, or Alexander Pope's Rape of the Lock, or Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. They are all they are all included in the range of Horatian satire. However, at the same point of time, there could be some aspect of the other type of satire which could be included in Horatian satire, and which could be in some aspects of Horatian satire but could be included in juvenile satires. So it would be wrong to say that or put them into any watertight compartments, but Horatian satires are more or less playful, and they are written in a very light or light-hearted way, or they want to heal the situation, they want to reform the situation without being very direct or without being very pungent or without being very bitter. Now, as I have given you the examples, those examples would also tell you that they are reforming society, but with smiles. Now, Pope's moral essays could also be included in this type of satire, and these types of satires, they expose human follies, pretentiousness, hypocrisy, and they used relaxed and informal language. And however, the aim is same. Horatian or juvenile satire, the aim is same. They want to reform the society, and most of the time the speaker is quite civic or witty or tolerant man who is not very rude or who is not very striking or who is not very offensive in Horatian satires. Now, when we talk of Juvenalian satires, the character or the speaker is a serious moralist, and he uses a dignified and public style of utterances, and he evokes the reactions of the society by exposing the vices and errors of various people or classes, and project them as very dangerous to the society. And there is a lot of contempt, moral indignation, or sort of breaking of illusion. There is at times the tone is sad as well, as when we talk of Dr. Johnson's London or Vanity of Human Wishes. We would see that in these types of satire, the contempt or the attack or the parody or the outrage is very savage, or the ridicule is very bitter or very pungent, or maybe the reputation of a person or a whole state or a whole society is at stake. Then we can quote various examples of this type of satire. Orwell's Animal Farm, then Huxley's Brave New World, then Golding's Lord of the Flies. These types of writings, they carry this method or this mode of satire. Then we have direct and indirect satires. Now, people say that, or the critics believe that Horatian and juvenile satires could be termed as formal satires, and then we have indirect satires where people are attacked, or anything which is attacked which is not attacked directly, it is attacked indirectly. Then in such type of satires we can say Manipian satires or Vanonian satires. They are part of this style of writing satires. This is also this style of indirectly making somebody a butt of satire, or indirectly criticizing a mode of thinking or a way of living. These types of writing, they adopt this method of writing satires. Then Burton's of Anatomy of Melancholy could be put under the category of this satires. Then we have Anatomy of Criticism also, that could be put under this category of satires. And they have a miscellaneous form. They are sort of motley. They adopt different type of forms and to attack or to subtly make something or someone a butt of their satire. Now, when we talk of satires in general, we can again quote Dryden's many works, then Dryden's Absalom and Achitophel, then we can quote Swift's Gulliver's Travels, then Addison's Spectator's papers are all satiric papers, satiric essays. Then we can again quote The Country Wife, and then Shaw's Arms and Men, then T.S. Eliot's great poetry, The Wasteland, as a satiric poem. So there are, we can say that there are various examples of satire, of works which involve or which have indulged in this way of writing, or this way of this technique of writing and reforming the society, or the society at the same point of time. Then as we have already said that if we want to read satires at large, we should read the writings of Dryden, writings of Addison, writings of Swift, Gay, Fielding, Goldsmith, Samuel Butler. All these writers had adopted this method of writing, and their satires were very famous in English literature. But at the same point of time, when I am talking of satire, I would again would like to distinguish between a satire and a comedy. A comedy is all laughter. Comedy is laughing at people in general, laughing at oneself and laughing at people in general, and its aim is laughter and wit and humor, whereas the aim of satire is not laughter alone or wit and humor. In fact, it goes into the background, and its main objective becomes a reformation, a constructive effort to reform. It could be reformed through healing, or it could be reformed through ridiculing, scorning people, or putting their reputation at stake, or it could be barely by humbling them and showing them the mirror. So for today, I think this lecture on satire would be enough for you. I would, as I always say, I would again suggest you that you read on your own, and you can take help of this lecture as well. Thank you.